Hello everyone, my name is Dina. Thank you for joining me on this walkthrough. I will be taking you through my Mod 4 Flatiron Software Engineering Bootcamp application. We had to develop an application that had a JavaScript front end and utilized a Rails API backend. So to be able to do any of the CRUD functions between the two, front end and back end, we did have to utilize fetch requests and send over information that way. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and open up my project. When you first open it up, this is what the project looks like. I decided to do an application that holds on to, it's a place where you can store like your patterns, or if you're thinking of developing like crafting patterns or things like that, then you could come here and jot them down, or you could add a pattern and kind of keep a running total of the things that you want to do. I love to craft, so I wanted to make something centered around that. A lot of the times I want to make something and I just know maybe what I want to call it and the type of yarn that I'm going to use because I like to crochet, um, and maybe a description. And that's all. And I wanted an application that would take in that information and kind of just hold on to it for me until I get around to actually doing those things. So when you open up the application, you are met with a index of all the patterns that I have in the database for right now. So you can see we have gloves, and we can have a hat and a sweater and things like that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is add a pattern, and I'm going to call it Sweethearts. The difficulty is 1, and for a description, I'm going to open this up a little bit so you can see it more. This is just, the way that the syntax is for crocheting patterns. Round 1 would be the first row that you're actually crocheting. Chain 3, work 2 double crochet in a ring and stuff like that. The yarn that I want to use is a number 4 or a worsted weight yarn. It's just different ways to gauge how thick your yarn is that you're going to be using. And I'm going to choose crochet because although I can knit, I am not a knitter. So let's go ahead and submit that. And at the bottom here, you'll see that our new pattern has been appended to the long list of patterns that we have in the database. So that's one thing that you can do. Another thing you can do is delete a pattern. So let's go ahead and just delete this first pattern because uh, I like making hats, but they're not my favorite thing to make. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. And I do have it set up with CSS where on click it changes a color. And I've selected it so that you can see there's a difference between when you click it and when you don't. And we're going to go ahead and just delete that. And as you can see, the hat is gone from up here. And now we're with the second pattern, which was gloves. And our sweethearts pattern is still here. So yeah, that's basically the application right now. In the future, I do want to utilize adding links to actual free patterns to creators for the patterns that you add into my application, because there's nothing like getting the actual pattern from the creator and understanding where they were coming from. Um, but for right now, this is my application. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.